Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope everyone had a pleasant weekend and that everyone is ready to start beginning some of the work we have in class with regards to assignments. I had a student turn something in, um, or I should say a participant. We're all students learning, lifelong learners. Um, Make sure before you attempt to do any of the assignments you are briefed beforehand. If there's ever a point where you think you may need to turn an assignment in early, I should probably be made aware of that. But I did receive someone's assignment. I know who, but we will talk about our first assignment today. And I received two messages, one over the chat and one over my email about folks whose computers did not come equipped with Windows. So there will be some instructions today as to what we will, what's the word? What we will be able to do as far as the screenshot is concerned. I will also be adding some documents to our Google Classroom. Before I even start today's class, um, we are going to look at Google Classroom. There's still a few people who everyone here, I believe, if I just look, everyone that is in class currently has has successfully accepted the invitation to Google Classroom. Google Classroom is extremely helpful. I am going to be adding materials there after today's class so that um, you have some reference in terms of what you're going to be using to do the assignment. The fir- we're actually I'm going to try to get two assignments assigned today, and we're going to try to complete them by Monday. Um, if we get one assigned today and one assigned on Thursday, that will be okay. But I want to make sure that no one is overwhelmed and that we're all on equal footing, shall we say. So it looks like we have about half of the class here. I don't know. Did anyone have any trouble logging in today? No?
No,
Okay. No, no one had any trouble logging in today. Okay. All right. So hopefully they will be joining us. This class is being recorded. Everyone heard as they were coming in. Somebody also left class. Ah, okay. Okay. All right. So we are even one more short. Okay. Okay, Christina. Are you having trouble with your internet, Christina? No? All right. Christina, can you hear me? Hmm. Okay. All right. So we may have some issues, technical issues. I don't know. Um, Please let me know in the chat if you're having any trouble hearing me. I don't think that that is the case. I'm about to share my screen, and it is very important for anyone who's watching this video, anyone who's taking this class to know um, I do take attendance. After every class, I can see who has come to class, and that information goes into our database. So it's always better if you know you're going to be absent to communicate that. I will be making some phone calls after class, I think. It's not as if you are in trouble, but this class is voluntary, but um, it becomes difficult in trying to catch everyone up. So if you want to stay on top of the work, if you want to stay informed, you must attend the class. All right. I would share my screen now. Thank you for listening. And I'm not actually lecturing anyone that is in class currently. You are doing exactly what you were supposed to do. And again, if there are any issues, you should absolutely communicate those to me. It is far better to catch up on work and keep the lines of communication open. All right, excellent. Good, good, good. And please, again, if you have any questions or concerns, please use the chat. I'm also going to be moving this. There we go. There we go. All right. So when you go to Classroom, to Google Classroom, I believe everyone who's in class right now is currently enrolled in Google Classroom. You will get an invitation from AHC, right? AHC is the email that we use through our Google. It is a premium account. So this is something I have access to that I'm able to use to make facilitating this class a little bit easier and more accessible for you. Digital skills for life, you'll see something like this. The other two things, you're not going to see them. I may open this today because there are some materials that I will need to transfer over from my previous cohort, but you are cohort 15. That's what should be showing up. If I open this, you will come to the stream. And it looks like we have some people who commented. You can also comment. That's okay. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to class. We are going over our Google Classroom. And again, I'll just, for posterity, show one more time. Everyone should, when they open up their Google Classroom, have something that looks like this blue one here. It says Digital Skills for Life, Cohort 15. So, good morning, good morning. My voice sounds a little raspy, a little rough. It's because I am ill, but we are going to soldier ahead. Please let me know if you're having any trouble understanding what I'm saying, okay? I will try to go a little bit slower. So when you open it up, it will go to the stream. This is very disorganized. You will have a hard time finding anything here. If you are trying to communicate with people in class or you just want to say hi, looks like we had a couple people who did that. That's fine. Just I ask you to keep it appropriate. I don't think anyone will say anything inappropriate, but it looks like you all have permissions to do this. So if you are encountering an issue, you could use each other as a resource, right? You can also communicate to me. So you'll have access to both through this. Through the email, you will solely have access to me. So please use those lines of communication and don't be afraid to reach out. You will get a response if you email me. On here, I will check it, but I usually check it a couple times a day. I check my email all the time. But if you have some people in class that you chat with over the chat, I don't know if anyone is doing that, but there is an option. You have a with let me show you your chat. With your chat, you can also choose to speak to individuals, or you can chat with the whole group. I welcome you to chat with the whole group. If you need to just chat with me, you can select my name. It might even say host next to it. So that is an option for you during class. You can also raise your hand. Everyone was able to do that last time, it looked like. So just a reminder, after class, I will be pulling from the system who attended over Zoom. So I will have this information. If you are missing classes, please communicate to me what your needs are, what's keeping you from attending, and how I can best help keep you in class or keep you informed. These recordings will be available through Google Classroom, right? So don't use the stream unless you are going to announce something to the class, right? If you're trying to find anything, it's going to be very difficult to find it. This is where you'll find everything, nicely organized. Our second class, oh, someone just commented. Our second class, I changed it from class one because technically this was our second class that we had. Our first class was orientation. Let's see what they said. One class comment. All right. Yes, I see. Okay, very good. All right. If you have any questions or there are any issues with the recording, please let me know. You could do that using the comments. So We are going to be focusing on our module 1 today. We're going to be focusing on our first assignment. I do have a student who is among us I'm sorry, a participant who is among us that submitted the first assignment via email. There are two ways to submit these assignments. Both are acceptable. You can either email them to me through my email, cmoulton@associationhouse.org, or you could submit them through the Google Classroom. I encourage you to make use of the Google Classroom because I will see in my email when you've submitted an assignment. I will also be able to go directly to the gradebook and see that the assignment is completed. Now, it's okay if you email it to me because I can go into the gradebook and mark it as completed. There's no letter grade, there's no percentage grade for an assignment. But if it is not done correctly, I'm going to recommend that you go back and do it again. I am not going to force you to, but I will credit you for your work. But to get the most out of this class, I do recommend waiting until I have assigned it, till I've gone through it. So there's no miscommunication about what this assignment is. So for the student who turned it in, I'm not going to require you to redo it, but there are specific directions we're all going to go through today. And there are directions on the actual classwork as well. So if I open this up here, I go screenshot 2 images. The instructions are written for a computer with a Windows key, right? So right now, I only know of 2 people, maybe 3, that told me what their computer was. Someone said they had an Acer, and I'm thinking it might be an Acer Chromebook. I don't know if that's correct, but it is an Acer computer, and they say they are missing the Windows key. Uh, in this case, I do believe that we are going to have to take an alternate way of approaching the keyboard to take the screenshot, and I will tell you what my research has turned up with that. There will also be a difference. I'm going to see. Doesn't look like they're here, but someone is a Mac user or using the MacBook Air. They have a computer that is an Apple device. So that is going to be something that is a different set of steps. And I will include material on Apple over our classwork. So you'll see, let me open this up again, or can I close this? Okay. So I wanted to show this, but I'll come back to it in just a moment. All right, so I'm going to open this again, classwork. So we have homework. These are, when you complete them, when you complete the quiz, you will be, what's the word? At a point where you will get a badge, and I will email it to you. I showed you last class what that looks like, but today I want you to see recorded classes are here. I'll also email a link via our email, just in case you're having trouble navigating Google Classroom, but it is right at the top. I'm also going to add quiz in here. There's some things I'm going to add. So there's a very specific set of instructions here. These instructions will only work if you have a Windows key on your keyboard, right? There are different ways to take screenshots, but what is essential about the screenshot is for our communication, it's so I can see what you are seeing. You can capture it in time and then show it to me, right? So my recommendation would be to submit it over Google Classroom, but again, it's completely acceptable to submit it over the email. Let's go through this first assignment here. All right, so take a screenshot of a corporate logo. So corporate is going to be like big corporations. There are small corporations, but I want it to be something that might be a little bit more iconic, recognizable, like Nike, like Target, like what else is iconic? Like Tesla, something big, right? From Google search, and then you're gonna send it for me to review. So again, it can be a clothing brand, television channel, a bank, or anything recognizable by marketing. And I say, please avoid using logos from government-affiliated agency or contractor. Why is that? Because I do not want you to get in trouble for impersonating the post office, for impersonating. Okay, all right. I was reading the chat just a moment. I don't want you to have any difficulty in terms of legal for this. This exercise is for educational purposes only, but it's also to show you something important. It's also to show you um, how these things can be fabricated and fool you. So if I could take a screenshot and create something that looks legitimate, that looks real, you might think it's your bank emailing you, asking for your social security number, give them your information. You should never do that. Should never happen. And this will be something that I repeat over and over and again in class. If anyone ever asks you for something and they ask you for it quickly, or they put a time frame and tell you hurry up, it is usually a scam, right? All right. So when you have completed taking the screenshot of the corporate logo, you're going to search for one headline from a reputable news source related to corporate brand whose logo you took a screenshot of. Remember, you do not want to include the article, just the headline. Okay? I have done this because we're doing two things. We're working with Google and we are taking piece by piece steps in this process. So you are giving me a precise thing here. The corporate logo and a news headline underneath, and it is not the whole article. So here's where we're going to start with our keyboard. Many of you, it sounds like, have this keyboard. You have the Windows key and you have the print screen key, right? You press both of those at the same time. It should give you a screenshot. Okay? For Elizabeth, because I see you're under a different name, let me pull up directions for Mac. How to take screen. All right. So we have some options, and they're all going to do different things. Shift Command. Okay. This would be my recommendation for you, Elizabeth, is to use the screenshot app. The reason is because it's going to be more precise with what you want to take a screenshot of, right? So this tool is going to let you select what you want to capture. And it sounds like it is something that is built right into your Mac. I want you to try this today during break maybe, or right after class. And I want you to let me know via email whether this was the best option for you. There are other things you could do. There are other keyboard shortcuts, right? So Shift Command 3 will capture the entire screen. Then we have Shift Command 4 captures a portion of the screen. Shift Command 4 spacebar captures a window or the menu bar. So all of this probably sounds very complicated. The thing is, for me to explain this to you, it's probably just going to be easier for me to direct you to use that screenshot app on your Mac because you'll get to select exactly what you want. And I'm also going to give the option for anyone listening right now to not use their keyboard and to use a special tool available through Windows users, right? Or often available for download for free. So we have a couple options. There's always more than one way to do things, right? And there's always different results depending on the way we're going to be doing things in class. But these are the basics. If you have Windows on your computer, if you have a print screen key, which almost every one of you should, you're going to hold both of those down at the same time and it will take a screenshot. Don't do it now. You will practice this after class. I am going to pick a corporate logo. I am going to pick, let's see. First, I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to go to Google. You can see I'm here. And look, already I could search for images. Okay, good. I'm going to search for images here. So the image I'm going to look for, I'm going to use Reebok. Right? Reebok. Logo. I'll say logo. Reebok logo. Right? Okay. I'm gonna pick one that I like. Ooh, this one's nice. All right. And because I like this one so much, I am going to take a screenshot of it. So there's a couple ways to do this. I'm going to show you the first way. It's the way we discussed with the keyboard here. You're going to hold these two keys down at the same time. So I'll show you how this works. Now I have taken a screenshot. I can't see any difference visible on my screen. Some things you can, but the Mac, maybe it will flash. Now I am going to go into my search here. I thought this was going to open where I could show you. All right, let me try this again. There it is. Okay, excellent. All right, so now this is my search, right? So for my computer. So I'm going to my search and I'm going to search for a special app called Paint. All right, so being a little slow here. One moment. There it is. There it is. All right, so I would type this in. Usually if I type in Paint, it's a little slow today. If I type in Paint, I want to make sure it is for the apps, right? Usually before I even finish, this computer's a little slow, everyone. Before I even finish, it'll come up. And I got a little painter's palette with a paintbrush. That's the Paint app. I'm going to open this up. And just to clarify, I don't want anyone to be confused. Let me move this over here. Hold on one moment. Oh my goodness, this is so slow. All right. So something like this should come up on your screen, right? So when I am selecting, when I am clicking, I'm using my mouse, right? Some of you have computer mice. Some of you have a trackpad. For the trackpad, it's going to be click, right? One finger, click. Otherwise, if you were looking at the mouse, it's going to be the left click, one click down. You could click it double click. That's select. Okay? The click. I said one click, double click. So when I say click, I mean double click the left side, right? Now there's a couple ways I can do this. Because I took a screenshot, the way I did it, it will take a picture of the whole screen, right? It's going to take it and it's going to save it on a thing called a clipboard. Clipboard is where our text and images are going to stay until we copy them. Okay, we have someone joining us. All right. So a clipboard is going to be connected to a feature called paste, right? I'm going to show you after we get through a little bit more of this, how to copy and paste. Like I said, there's more than one way to do things, right? Copy, paste. I could paste by clicking this button here in Paint. See the big clipboard? It says paste. I am going to paste. Everyone let me know, please, if you're having trouble hearing me. All right, it took a picture of the wrong screen, but that's okay. I am going to undo that. I'm going to just delete it. I'm going to undo this. All right. So This is part of the issue of my presentation versus the way you're going to receive it. Does anyone have more than one screen? No, you only have one screen. I have two screens. And it decided, even though, yeah, your paint looks different, that's okay. That's okay. But remember, even if you're doing this right now with me, don't get lost. I had people in my last class were confused between the video that they were watching with me and what I was doing and what they were doing. And they thought that somehow the interaction, that it was supposed to be interactive, but it's not. If you're doing it on your own, I have no control over it. So it might look a little bit different on the eraser. We don't need to use the eraser right now. But thank you for asking. Thank you for asking, Gabriel. The paint might look a little different, but should be in your computer. I believe there is even a paint in the Mac. Um, but it didn't take the screenshot that I hoped it would. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you the other way that you can do this. Okay? Because this way, no, I don't want to save this. This way is going to be my my preferred way of taking a screenshot anyways, but it's also more precise. So I'm going to look for a snippet. Go to apps, go to snippet. It's a snipping tool. There it is. This is the other way you can do it. And once I show you this, it's going to make more sense why I had difficulty with the other one. So I'm going to take and do this. It's going to be new. So now I can take this little, you see these crosshairs? I hope everyone can still hear me. I'm going to take and I'm going to only select what I want to be screenshot. All right. And it automatically put it on my clipboard. It automatically put it on this app. So now, did everyone hear? No one had any audio or video issues? Good, good. So now I have it copied to the clipboard. So originally, what you would have had was the entire screen copied to a clipboard in the Paint app. But instead, now what you have is I copied the specific, I took a specific screenshot, selected the specific area, and it automatically put it into this, right? If I wanted, let's see, I could mark it up, but I really don't want anyone to need to do that. There should be in this, let me see. I'm looking for a cropping tool. We're not going to worry about that right now. Understand, and I will actually do this again in the Paint app, um, so everyone can see. Understand that there's more than one way to do things. So if you're confused, it's okay. This is one way to do it. Now I'm going to show the other way because I think this is going to be easier. So we'll pretend like that screenshot didn't take a picture of the whole screen like I wanted. You have an entire picture of your screen, everything that's on it, all of those Reebok logos, all of the tabs up on the top. And I will go through and explain what tabs versus windows are in a little bit. But I want to make sure that you have the fundamentals for taking a screenshot. There's a couple options here. You could press select, and it will do a similar thing now, like you had with the snipping tool. So I'm going to select this. I really want to get in there tight. Now, if I grab this, I could take it, it's separate, right? Or I can leave it. But what I can do is I can either click copy, right? Because it's selected. You see the dotted lines? That shows it's selected. If I go back here, if I try to click off, now it's not selected. But if I click here, if I let me try to control C. Let me undo some of this. If I go back and I cut this, right? This is going to be automatically selected. See the dotted lines? It's showing me it's selected. So I can pick it up, I can move it. When it is in this, when it's like this, I can go copy and it will copy it to a clipboard. Then what I would do if I'm turning in the homework is I would go to Google Classroom, and you should be able to do this through your Google Apps, just like I have here, these little dots. Or you might go to Gmail and it should still have the little dots somewhere that shows the apps. You're going to go to Classroom. You're going to open Digital Skills for Life, cohort 15. You're going to go to classwork. You're going to go down here. And don't worry about it being due today. I will change this. You have to click view instructions to get into it. Now, oh, I might have locked us out of it. All right, so let me turn off the due date. Do uh, let's have it due next Tuesday. Save it. So now I should be able to submit it through this. This is fascinating. All right, let me see what's going on here. My apologies. All right, I think the computer might be slow because it should have a submission. This is, did I mark this as an actual assignment? Let's go back here one more. Because I want to make sure there's no issues with turning this in. I think. Well, okay. All right. So don't worry about turning it in on the platform because there's something wrong. There is something wrong with the platform. All right. So this is the fun of technology is you have a plan and you have um, predictable issues that come up with this plan. So this should be, this actually should be, if I was going to create, this is an assignment. So I'm not sure why I can't submit. Let me see if this one will open for me. I can tell you why. Because I'm in instructor view instead of in teaching view. So I'm going to show you on the old classroom, and it's going to work the same way. There's nothing wrong. It's just I'm going to show you my old class. I've organized it slightly differently, but it's principally the same. So screenshot submission, because I added myself as a student on here. No, darn. Okay. If you go into the classroom, there should be, when you open the instructions, there should be a submission area over here. That's fascinating to me. Last time I was able to show it, but I'm thinking that maybe it was because I was in a student account. Let me try one thing, and if it doesn't work, we'll move on. and I'll just have you email it to me. All right. Move this one moment. Thank you for your patience, everyone. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to. I'm not gonna be able to show this today because it's not like it was. All right, so never fear. I need to move this though. Expand this. Just one moment. Whew. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen for one moment. Thank you for your patience, everyone. All right. All right. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to email this to me, and I'm going to open an email as if I was sending it to myself. Let me share this again. Okay. Okay. Now, all right. Let me just open up my chat again. Yeah. Okay. So let me know, please, anyone, if you're having any trouble seeing or hearing anything at this point. We are going to go to our email. And you can do this in the email itself, or you can attach an attachment to this email. Slow, slow, slow. There we go. So I can either attach it or I can just control, I can paste it. So there's two ways to do this. And for some reason, all right, cool. There's two ways to do this, right? I could either attach it as a file on a Word document. I could attach it as a file on Google Drive. All of what I'm saying makes no sense because we haven't gone through it yet. But we can also paste it. So on your mouse, you have a right button. We've been clicking with the left one. Now you're going to need to click with the right one. If you have a trackpad, two fingers will usually be how you can make this happen. Watch what happens when I press this. Right click. You see this menu? How this menu comes out? I can press paste, and there it is. Right? So that is one way you could submit it to me. Another way you can submit it to me is if you open your Google Drive or your Google Apps and you go to, here we go, Docs. We are going to be working in Docs. I'll tell you that. You can also do this. You can create a blank document. Apologies. And you can paste, right? Just like I said, you can right click, paste. There we are. Yep. All right. So that is another way. And then what you would do is you would name it, and preferably you would name it a screenshot, right? Screen. and maybe you put your name on it. I'm going to see who the email's from, but you say screenshot and your name, or just screenshot and make sure that it's an email that you've reserved for class. You're not using a strange, different email. And if you do, communicate who you are. All right, so we have Reebok. Now what I'm going to do, so remember when I clicked on images? I got a bunch of images for Reebok. All right, well now I'm going to do that again instead of opening up another thing. You're going to see up here at the top, I could go images, I could go all. If I click all, I'm going to get the sponsored content first. This is a big money maker for Google and an important part of commerce online and in the real world is being seen on Google. Because let me show you something. If I scroll down to the bottom of this page, all the way down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and beyond. You can keep going and going and going and going and get a lot of different things that relate to Reebok in some way or another. Now, here's the thing. As you go further and further down these searches, you're going down a rabbit hole because you're probably going to find less and less what you're actually looking for. So I would say after page 2, if you aren't finding what you're looking for, you probably need to be more specific in your search. But here's what I have. I have this content that's paid for by Reebok, sponsored by Reebok, Reebok here. And so that we have their online store here. Then we have Wikipedia. It has a little bit about the history of the company and about its current financial status as close as it could be. There's also People Ask, right? So these are searches, popular searches associated to the word Reebok or the topic of Reebok. Instagram, a lot of companies sell their products over social media and even offer special deals. Be careful of this though, because sometimes you'll see something that says it's Reebok and it's not Reebok. But this right here is an example of yes, is an example of something that is used to market Reebok, right? And even people who are just big fans of it will post the Reeboks. Walmart has Reebok, right? So Walmart is paying to be, not right on top, but not too far from it on the Google page. And of course, we have Reebok stores um, and the official website. And here are what people also search for, similar thing. And then these are searches that they're more refined, but it's almost like Google is asking you, did you mean the Reebok logo? Did you mean Reebok shoes? Did you mean Reebok near me? What were you looking for? So, and of course, we also have this here. So this is a little bit of information associated with Reebok. If I put in a question on Google, there's actually AI that sometimes chimes in. You'll see search labs. If you, I was going to say, in terms of the AI component, Google's AI is going to be the best if you are looking for something. If you are looking for a website, pieces of information, or a web search for an answer to a question. So that is something to consider. So here's what I'm going to do. So I've got Reebok, right? Reebok. And now I need a headline, right? I'm not going to go to images. I'm not going to go to shopping. I'm going to go to news. And look at that. I have a whole list of news articles that I could pull from. Now, this one's from 2 hours ago. Who put it up? News, the news market. All right. Is that a reputable news site? I don't know. I've never heard of it. Sporting News, Mom Edit, Stock Titan, Annual, Kicks on Fire. What I'm interested in you using for your headline is a reputable news source. Um, Something like ABC, NBC, CBS, right? Something like the New York Times or the Washington Post. I want you to use a reputable news source that is not one of these clickbait kind of things. If you've never heard of it, it's probably not a reputable news source. There, there's supposed to be journalistic integrity in the way these things are rolled out. And there isn't always, as you can see, because we have a lot of fans of Rebut. So, oh, here's the New York Times. New York Times. So now I'm going to go through one of the things that I used. I'm either going to use the snipping tool or I'm going to use my keyboard. And I'm going to press the buttons on my keyboard, open the snipping tool. I am going to open the snipping tool. And I'm going to select this right here. Look at that. And now I'm going to go to edit and copy, or I can right click and copy. See, there's more than one way to do it. Now I'm going to blow your mind even more. On your keyboard, Control C. You press those two buttons, making sure it's selected, right? This is in our clipboard. Then I'm going to go to my Gmail. Let me try to close this. Moment. I'm going to go now to my document, my email, and I want to make sure that when I come back to this, I haven't selected this, because let me show you what will happen if I don't click off of this, if I don't make sure it doesn't have these blue squares or dotted lines that show it's selected. This is what's going to happen if I paste. So I have a few different options. I can go edit and I could say paste. Oh, that's not good. I'm going to undo that. You see this arrow up here? This is undo. It's like an arrow pointing back. It's going, making a U-turn back. Undo. All right. So that's why you don't want to have it selected. So you can either go edit paste, or you can right click. I am going to press enter because I don't want it to be on the same line. It will not format correctly on the paper if I don't have it underneath. Did you see how I moved my cursor? There's a button on the keyboard that says enter. I'm going to press it. And now I'm down. You see that? I'll do it one more time. Enter. Or if I was here, I could theoretically click with my mouse. I could select. So here is another way you can paste. I right click, right? On the trackpad, it's two fingers. Two fingers on the trackpad. Or if you have the right button, you're going to hold it down until you see a menu. And then you're going to select paste. Or, and I'm pressing undo, there's a shortcut for the keyboard. Control V. This is paste. So there's three ways you can copy and paste, right? I've shown you three ways to copy, three ways to paste, two keyboard shortcuts. This is going to be important for you because being able to take and extract something and then put it somewhere else, that is going to be very helpful for this class. It's going to be helpful for showing people things. So taking a screenshot on the phone, by the way, on your smartphone is a different matter. For my Apple, there's two buttons that I press. I press the power button and the volume button together, and then the screen freezes, and I see a rectangle go to the side, and then open up into the screenshot I have taken, and I could do different things with it. On the computer, this is how we will do the screenshot. On an Apple computer, I hope you're listening, Elizabeth. On an Apple computer, instead of control copy, instead of control C, it is command C, and that will copy. Command V, and that will paste. So that's the difference with the Apple device. So now my assignment is complete. So I can choose to send this as an email, right? And I'm going to send it to cmoulton at associationhouse.org, right? Screenshot. And it's going to, I might, if I was you, write a message. If you had a question about the assignment or something didn't come out right, you could write that in there. There's some couple different options that you'll have. Don't attach, include content in the email. If you do that, it's going to do this, right? That's what it's going to send me. I'm okay with that. But I am going to tell you, we are going to use Google Doc. We are going to submit Google Doc at some point. If you want to use Microsoft Word, that's fine too. But just realize that this class is through Google. So it might not format the way you wanted it to, but that's okay. This is just about the basics, the fundamentals. So you could choose this, or you can choose to include it as an attachment by not clicking anything, and that's okay too. You have some options. You could send it as a PDF, right? So you could send it as a Microsoft Word. And then the rest of these, I don't even think I want you to worry about them because we're not dealing with text here. We're dealing with images, and the HTML is just going to take me to a tab on the web page. So the best for you would either be PDF or Microsoft Word. I'm going to send it as a PDF to myself here. I'm going to send that. And if I check my email, oh, I am, I've received it. Excellent. So that is that. I am, this would be this would be a in terms of being able to. I really hope too that this is not going to be an issue on the recording. I have my screen open differently. If you're watching this recording and you're having any trouble seeing it, please let me know. I'm just going to show just in case. All right. Hopefully this will. I'm hoping now that if for some reason on the recording, my screen with our faces, the little strip that I had trouble making strip again, is in the way. You've heard me talking and not seeing anything. You should be able to see this now, right? So this will be your assignment. This will be your assignment one, and you will email it to me. And I will investigate. I should be able to show you how we can submit our work over Google Classroom. I'm not sure what really happened with that. I'm going to stop sharing now. We are at 10:55. So that means we are going to be here. Let me open this up again. One moment. We're going to be taking a little break here. I want you to, go now. We'll meet back at 11:05, and to get a drink of water, use the restroom, stretch your legs, whatever you need to do. But do not log out of the classroom. All you need to do is make sure you're muted. Right, so you're going to make sure you're muted, and then you're going to turn your camera off. If anyone has any questions, they can ask them now. Otherwise, feel free to stretch your legs and take a break. I'll see you at 11:05. In fact, I'll see you at 11:06. I'll give you an extra minute just because I was talking there. All right. Anyone have any questions? No? Okay. No questions. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your patience and cooperation. I am going to say you have about a minute left of your break. I have actually gotten into the Google Classroom as a student, so I can show you that view that I was trying to show you before that I couldn't from my teaching account. Um, this was also something. This I'm on a newer computer now in a different room. So this was an issue that I did not have on my original computer because I was signed in to both accounts, which would explain why um, I was not able to access the class as a student. So now I am logged in. I can actually show you from the email how to get into Google Classrooms. We should be coming back now to class. Hopefully, everyone is all ears and no tears. All right, let me share my screen here again. I do want to apologize for anyone who's watching the recording. It is possible that you had some trouble seeing what we were looking at. I'm going to make it a lot easier now. Thank you for your patience. There should be a little bar on the bottom of the screen rather than on the side or right in the middle with a giant picture of my face. Let me go from opening our email here. All right, so you should see something from AHC, Community Health Workforce Development, class invitation. It's for digital skills for life. Oh, okay. I'm going to need to open that up. Uh, admit. Okay. And I'm going to open the chat as well. Okay. So, this is a reminder when we are in class, if you are having any trouble with your internet connection, let me know. But we should not be leaving class because I don't want any trouble with logging in and logging out. So during our break, our 10-minute break, this should just be the camera turning off and us going on mute for 10 minutes versus actually leaving the classroom. If anyone's having any connectivity issues, please email me. You can always email me at cmoulton at associationhouse.org. That's CMOULTON at associationhouse.org. So now I'm going from I'm going back a little bit to show you what I wanted to show you before. You should get an invitation. It says class invitation from Association House of Chicago. Now, this is a Gmail, and we're going to go through Gmail and we're going to create one. If you don't already have one, or if you have one, you're still going to make one. This is what should come into your email. It is possible that because it is not from a usual sender, or because there's this link, right, to attend the class, it may end up in this folder. You see my little pointer finger, my cursor is hovering over it. It's called spam. This is where all of the junk that comes into your inbox is filtered out so you don't have to see it in your inbox. My email might be in here if you haven't seen it before. So please look in your spam. If you are using Yahoo, if you're using a different email account, it might not be called spam. It might be called junk. Not to be confused with trash. Let me just throw another wrench into that. The trash is a folder in your email where you delete the email. Once an email is deleted, it goes in the trash. If an email is captured as being an advertisement or as being something that is not very savory, something unsavory, it by process of the contents of the email or the attachments will actually put it into your spam or junk. So if you are missing emails, that's where you should be looking. Always check these before you reach out and say, I didn't get it. Double check. All right. We are in the inbox now. So this is where we receive our messages that don't go to spam, that aren't filtered out. All right. So this is my email, but we're not going to worry about that. I was just looking actually at at some of the emails in here. All right. So here's that invitation that you should have. You will click join the class. When you do that, it's going to come to this page, right? There's our stream. and our stream is actually not going to be used much for any kind of work. Let's see if anyone joined us. All right. It looks like, well, from my student perspective, we still have some people that haven't joined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. We still have some people that haven't joined. So make sure if you haven't joined the class, you do after class today. Let's go back. So this is where we would open up to. We're going to click on classwork. We are in homework 1, our first classwork, screenshot submission. I have to click view the instructions. Now, right here on the right-hand side of the page, your work, add or create. There's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to either open something I've previously saved. When you save a document from Docs on Google, it will go in the Google Drive. Let me repeat that again. When you save a document on Google with Google Docs, the saved document will go on Google Drive. Now watch this. This little triangle thing. This is Google Drive. I'm going to click on it. All right. So we're going to pretend that I found that document in there because I am actually on a different screen. But let me open this here on my screen as well. It's my email. There we go. So this is the teacher one. But if I went to go turn it in, right? If I go into my Google Drive, there it is. It's the screenshot submission. Now there are other things. Come on, open up. Yeah. Okay, so Krista turned hers in. Awesome. But remember, your screenshot, if you want it to be specifically the logo, right? I'm not gonna make you redo it, but the whole thing is with the precision to be able to get the specific logo. But that is where you will find it when you go to retrieve your document, if you created it. If you didn't create it, if you're going into this for the first time and you're saying, I'm going to go right into it, look at what it says here on the assigned, add or create. So you're going to create. And here's what's nice about this. When I click on docs, that's how we're going to submit it. When I click on docs, it's going to create one. And guess what it's going to create? It's going to create a doc with the name of the assignment on it. Do not turn it in yet. You're going to open this. So you're going to select the doc and you're going to go into it. This is the exact name of the document, right? That is the assignment. And look, my name is on it. So double whammy. Yeah, we have everything we need. So I could copy and paste right into this document, right? Just try pasting. And then go back to this one. Reebok. One moment. I'm just going to use the screenshot I took rather than taking another screenshot. Yes, Krista, what's your question?
Well, it's just basically like just a statement. I know I put the screenshot and it's maybe separated. I just wanted to make sure that I was doing it the right way. So I just kind of wanted to show you the screenshot and stuff like that. I know I probably did extra. I just kind of wanted to throw that.
So with with respect for the focus of the assignment on the logo singular, there's a specific screenshot, right? So we could take a picture of our whole screen with the Google images on it, but I wanted the screenshot of the one logo. That's okay. You can submit it that way, but just understand that if you are looking at practicing this, which you should be, practicing taking screenshots and compiling things like this, that is going to be more precision is what you're going to look for. So this is a practice, right? This
Okay.
class isn't going to set you up to be an expert, but this is the beginning of your practice. So my photo, I don't know why it didn't translate over, especially because it's in a Google Doc. Let me try this one more time. No, there it is. Try copy. Yeah, it doesn't like it for some reason. All right, I'm going to pretend like, you know what? I'm not going to pretend. No, I'm going to undo. Undo. All right. So I am going to take another screenshot just to give everyone the how to with the screenshot. There's two ways you can do it. You can press Windows, print screen, right? And that I'm going to show you is right. I'm just trying to get this out of the way. There it is. All right. The print screen and Windows key. Then it is automatically copied to that clipboard. So you would open Paint. Let's try that again over here. There it is. You open Paint, right? Which you type in and this would pop up. Then you're going to go paste, right? And it'll be in here. So that's number one, how you can do it. And then you use the select tool, cut it, the precise cut that you want of the logo. That is how you would go in and do it with this tool, right? With select. And then it will select it so you can copy and paste. And remember, we have different options of copy. I can use the copy here. I can use the keyboard shortcut that it actually tells you on the screen, Control C, or I can right click. If I right click, it might say copy. Right now it's in frozen because I don't have anything for it to do. No, don't do it. Now, the other thing I could do, my preferred way is using the snipping tool. And remember, you have with the Mac a different way of taking it on the keyboard. With your Acer, you have a different way of taking it, which again would be, I think it was Control Shift Function 5. I don't know if I specifically pulled that out for you, but for whoever has the Acer, the netbook or the Acer Chromebook without the Windows key, I believe it's Control Shift and F5. But you can look it up online how to do it yourself too. So if you're having difficulty with that, you can make a meeting with me and we'll do it in person on your laptop or try to figure it out. Um, it's a good practice to become self-resourceful, but also to use the resources around you, right? So you can use me as a resource, you can use your classmates as a resource, and you can use the internet as a resource and AI as a resource. You can ask Gemini how to take a screenshot on an Acer Chromebook. All right, so I'm going to do new, right? Okay. Actually, I don't even have my selected yet. I'm going to open a new tab. If I can move this, let me stop sharing the screen for a moment. All right, let me share the screen again. Thank you for your patience, everyone. All right, so you can see here, goodness, it's sharing the wrong screen. All right, so we're going to stop sharing the screen. All right, let's share the screen again. Share the screen. All right, so again, we'll do Reebok logo. We'll open up images. I like this one. All right, I'm going to open my snipping tool. All right, I can type in snipping tool. It should come up. This computer's a little slow, a little older. Now, once this pops up and I have everything ready, pay attention, Chris, to here with this, right? Because this is precision. I'm automatically starting with precision here, right? I select exactly what I want, the logo. It's copied. So I can go edit, I can go copy. Or I can go right click, copy. Or I can go, making sure it's selected, control copy. Then I'm going to go into that document, go back. I'm going to go into that document that we opened in Google Classroom that has my name on it, that has the title of the assignment on it. I'm going to control V. There it is. Now I'm done. But let's look at this. I don't need to close this tab. But the nice thing about Google Docs that Microsoft Word has kind of caught up with is it will save. As long as it's connected to the internet, it's going to continue to save as you work on it. Can something glitch and you lose some work? Yes. But it's if you as long as you're connected to the internet, it will be saving. And I believe there's a feature for a certain amount of information in a certain amount of space that it will save offline as well. But just keep in mind that whatever uh, device you are connected to, as long as it's connected to internet, or as long as it's connected to a data network, your work will be saved. It makes it very accessible from many different places, and that's something to consider when creating resumes and cover letters, which will be one of our assignments. Okay, it's done. If I open this up, it's going to look done, right? So I don't need to do anything but turn in and then turn in. And I know that looked more complicated, but it's only because I am a teacher and I was in the teacher setting. But if you saw that from the beginning to end in the student setting that I was able to pull up now, it's very smooth. So now I can go right into my digital skills for life. I can look at classwork, and I believe there's a view of I can see what I've turned in. Class drive folder, Google Calendar. Well, as the student, I could go in the class drive folder and I can see I submitted right there, right? And if you have any trouble with that, let me know. We'll walk through it. Or you can email me. You can email me the assignment. You have both options available to you. But now, if I go into my grades, right? So I think I could open this. Let me see. Okay, so I can open the assignment there. If I go, I guess I can't see my grades. I do. Okay. Let's see. View your work. Okay. All right. So I can see I turned it in. And that's how it's going to look in the grade book, right? So let me go back again so you can see that. I'm going to go classwork. When you're in classwork, there's this little blue button at the top that says view your work, and it says turned in. If you email this to me, it won't say turned in, not until I have submitted it as your instructor into the system saying, yeah, they turned it in. There's no grade associated with this, right? The only grade is your completion, pass, fail. So if you want to get badges, we need to go through these. I'm going to move now from this work as a student back to my putting on my teaching cap, my class facilitator cap. I'm going to be taking us into today's lesson on software. Hold on just for a moment while I open this up. All right. So there's going to be parts of this that are going to talk about assignments that are coming up. They're not due today. I am not going to overwhelm you with more assignments today. We will do the next assignment on Wednesday. They will both be due next week. As long as we keep week by week completing things, we should be in good shape. If you miss 2 weeks and you have all this work piled up, email me, come in. We'll work on it together. But I don't want you to get overwhelmed or underwhelmed, depending on where you are in your computer literacy. So we are in module 1. Welcome again. We are going to, don't worry about this here. There we are. All right, so we're going to be identifying digital devices and software applications. Then we're going to apply their, oh goodness. Oh my goodness. Hold on just 1 minute. All right. So now we are in our lesson portion. We're going over our slides here for this class. We're covering software. So we're identifying digital devices and software applications, and then we're going to apply their functions securely. There are a lot of apps you can download that collect data, sell your information. There's no such thing as free. Understand that even if you're not spending any money buying the app is taking something in return. It's always an exchange. Use a browser safely to search the internet for resources. We'll focus on this as well. We're going to be focusing on Google. We'll talk a little bit about the other browsers, but Google is our primary browser. It is the most lauded and well-liked browser for the internet in the world, I would say. Use digital tools to safely communicate and coordinate with others for appointments, meetings, or classes. Evaluate security and usefulness of mobile apps for yourself and your family. So we'll talk a little bit about that too. And the last module is also very deep into this. So we'll do a little overview of some of this here with regards to what we are going to achieve. Okay, I don't know why it's giving me trouble. There we go. All right. Just make sure we had a lot of people late today. Make sure that you are trying to get to class on time. So be prompt and prepared. All right. They're going to be differing abilities and different experience with digital literacy. Be respectful of everyone. If someone doesn't get it, be nice. I don't think I'm going to have any trouble with anyone being mean to somebody in class. I did in last class. I don't anticipate it this class. Everyone should maybe have a pair of headphones or be in an environment where they are not in a room with a lot of loud people and distractions. Do your fair share while giving others an opportunity to engage when needed. We don't have any trouble with that thus far, and I don't anticipate we will. Lift others up and avoid criticism. That's what your freedom to comment on that stream is, right? Advice for helping people with an issue you might have faced. It's an opportunity for you to reflect, but also to help somebody out potentially. And be patient with yourself and others. Remember, we are all here to learn. Even I am not perfect with computer stuff. Could you tell from a little bit of trouble we had today? You can anticipate there will always be some kind of issue in terms of what output you're getting from the input that you're putting, what you're putting into it, right? We're going to talk about troubleshooting. This is something we actually didn't get to last class. But it is something that we will focus on more through class. So remember, if something isn't working, a good rule of thumb is if an app is behaving weird or the computer is acting weird and is behaving inexplicably, you can't understand why the computer is behaving a certain way. What you can do, save your work if you have work that's open, and then shut the computer down. You will let it go completely shut down for 10 seconds. That's 10 Mississippis. And you will restart. You will start, I should say, the computer. You will power it up again. We went over last time where the power was in terms of how to turn the computer off. Know that if you're ever turning the computer on, it's one of two things. You're going to be pressing a button that's a circle with a line through it. So we can look at that again as we go through this section, but you should know maybe where the power button is on your tower if you're using a desktop, or where the button is on your laptop to turn it on. You can turn it off that way. It's better and more efficient to do actually click on the start or startup, click on the power button, select shutdown. Or I want to keep this clear. Sleep is where the monitor shuts off and the computer doesn't shut off, if that makes sense. The brain of your computer is still active. So don't think that if you put your computer to sleep, it is off. This is not the case. Um, and logging off of it isn't shutting it off either. So if you're doing sign out, sign in, that's not shut down either. But that is just something to keep in mind. Continue ahead here. Let's begin the session. All right, so we're going to be looking at some of the software applications you may find useful. Our goal is to hopefully help you use them safely. We're going to recognize and locate useful software. We're going to identify security applications and safety concerns. We're going to write personal goals and develop digital skills. That last portion is on you. Remember, I gave you those workbooks. It's up to you to write them. I'm not going to look over your shoulder and look at your notes. You can take notes on the computer. If you just want to take mental notes, I can't stop you from doing that, but make sure you are getting the most out of your time in class here. So, all devices have operating software that helps us interact with them, right? So most computers and laptops use Microsoft. The Macs use a Mac operating system, which is a type of software. Smartphones and tablets either use iOS, which is Apple iPhone operating system, Android, which is Google, right? It says Android Google. Android is Google. It's owned by Google. Not to be confused with Droid. I don't even know if that's a thing anymore. Used to be a computer. There used to be a phone. It would say Droid when it would turn on, but it was not the Android. Or Microsoft. Microsoft also has phones and products. And of course, Google has Google Pixel, which is more of the camera focus on it, more of the AI photo editing software focus on it. So they do have Google phones, but remember, Android is Google as well. It is good to know which operating software is on your device, but we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on how you apply that software or these apps and how you use them in your daily life. All right, so you probably heard of Microsoft Word. You've probably heard of Google Chrome. You've heard of TikTok. These are pieces of software, they're apps that you can have on your device. We're going to look at how to get those apps and where to find them on your device. Okay. So let's look at our iPhone right here. I know it's an iPhone because um, of the way it's laid out. We have Safari is exclusive to the iPhone. And if I look over here, I know this is not an iPad because the apps that are on it are Google. And often this is some sort of smart tablet that is through Google that is specific to Google. Not that you can't have Google on your iPhone; they can go in between. But there's certain apps, there's certain browsers you cannot have on any other phone that you can have on the iPhone. There are certain apps, not usually Google apps, but apps may be available through the Google Play Store that you cannot download for the iPhone, right? Each of these companies, Google, Apple, they want you to go through their stores. Apple wants you to use the App Store. You can get Google apps through the App Store on Apple, but when you buy through Apple, if you have to pay for the app, they get a cut of that money. On the Google Play Store, almost nothing that is unique to Apple is available, right? You can get Google through Apple, but you can't get Apple through Google. And you'll see some crossover, and then you'll see some things do crossover. But Google, the big thing with Google that I want you to remember is access. Google wants wide access. They've capitalized on this to create an empire of industry with the search as well as with their free apps. This is a good thing, but it comes with a cost. There's always a cost, right? So you can only have a certain amount of storage before you have to pay a fee monthly or yearly to have extra storage in the Google Drive. My Google Drive that I showed you through the association house, they have space on it. It is limited, but they have a lot of space. On my Google, it is smaller. So if you let your email fill up with email, a bunch of emails, it's taking up space on Google, right? On your Google Drive. because all of those emails are saved. You're only going to have so much space. It's going to expend your ability to use it and use it in a way that is quick versus slow. So that's something to keep in mind. Google is extremely accessible, but you have to maintain that accessibility. If you let your email, your Gmail, I should say, get full and continue to just fill up, fill up, fill up, and you don't delete emails, you don't mitigate or transfer any of those files, it's going to stack up on you and you'll have to go in and delete things, or you'll have to pay extra money to have Google. Apple, on the other hand, went the opposite way, where Google is access anywhere from any computer, any phone, an Apple phone. Apple's not that way. Apple actually is in sort of in these crossroads. Apple has made its entire existence out of being unique and sort of having a cult following, right? Not a real cult, but a favored technology among a specific community. Their technology is more expensive for the consumer, right? You're going to spend more for an iPhone usually than you would for an Android. Of course, there are new Google phones, there are new Androids that are costing more and more money. The more things they can do, the nicer cameras they have, they're going to be more expensive. But Apple has always been expensive. Their computers, their laptops, $5,000. I'm sure you could find more in terms of technology. You could spend more. Um, there are things that are preferred for Apple for music, right? iTunes. Before there was a Spotify, before there was a Pandora, there was an iTunes. Um, they also capitalized on their music with an app called GarageBand, so you can mix and create jams. And if you're a musician, you want to have a Mac. You want to use their studio on GarageBand to help mix your music. So this is preferred in terms of the industry with musicians, designers like Apple. There are design programs you can use on Apple for graphic design, for architecture, for things like this. So all of these things are beneficial. But remember that the personal computer and Google, more accessible. It can support more different things. You cannot play games, computer games like World of Warcraft. You cannot play, I'm trying to think of some other ones. You can't play Diablo. You can't play these games that require a lot of storage and a lot of stuff unless you have a PC. So Google doesn't really have anything to do with that, but it just the products. So if you're going to buy HP, Lenovo, those things, you're more likely to be able to have a game on that. On a Mac, you're not going to be able to do that, or at least traditionally you're not be able to do that. Apple devices also have ports that you won't find on other devices traditionally. So the Apple port for their iPhone 11, I think I have an 11 iPhone, um, or an 8. It's going to be a different charging port than anything you'll find for the Android and any phone, Google, all those. Now, because of litigation in the European Union, they're changing that. They are going to be more accessible. I don't know that it will be the same port, but it is a USB-C. So it's that remember the USB? There's a right way to put it in. You have to put it the correct side up. Showed you on the computer. And usually there'll be a picture on the device to show you which side is up. But with the USB-C, you don't need to worry about it. It's a little metal kind of uh, I don't want to call it ovular. It looks a little bit like it could be a rectangle, but it tapers around into a sort of oval, and that will plug in upside down, right side up. There is none, right? So Apple still has exclusivity with its products because they want you to buy Apple products for the Apple computer or the iPhone. So there is going to be some shifting around, but traditionally, if you had an HDMI, let's say you were teaching a class and you needed to connect a projector to your computer, you'll be able to do it with your HP. your Lenovo, your Acer, you're not going to be able to do it with your Mac unless you have an attachment. And you see, they can make money on that attachment because now you are paying to connect this device that you have to buy to connect to something that's compatible with everything else. So in a way, it's ingenious in terms of marketing, but also aesthetically, they're going for sleeker, smoother, um, and more efficient. They got in trouble because of their messaging system. Their messaging system made it look as though the uh, um, the Androids were slower. The phone non-iPhones were slower. It would be in a green, and the blue would show you if someone was an iPhone user. Now that is changing. I'm sure we're going to see some integration between the technology to where it doesn't give that appearance that other phones are inefficient while Apple is superior. That's not true. But um, it's been the way that they've been able to uh, engage their users on these phones and devices. So there's nothing wrong with Apple. Apple is a good product, but they have made the point of being able to keep it insular. So people will buy an Apple and stay with Apple. They will use their app store. Whoops, I'll go back here. They will use their app store. This is the blue one here, App Store, versus a Google Play. But that is the long game, of course. Everyone wants you to go through them to buy your services and products, to download your applications. Because again, Apple gets a cut of that, Google gets a cut of that, and they get a little bit of information, right? There's no such thing as free. And of course, there are paid apps on both of these as well. We'll move ahead. All right, toolbar and applications for a laptop, desktop. So on your computer, if you have Windows, you should see there's a little window on your computer, right? That's the menu. So it's going to look different on every computer, right? Someone was saying their paint looks different than mine. That's just how it's going to be. My paint on this computer looks a little bit different than it does on the other computer that I use that I've taught this class in. So when I give instructions, when I talk about things, understand it's through a different lens for you potentially because of whatever device you're using, whatever whenever this app was downloaded, if it's updated, if it hasn't been updated, it's going to be a little bit different. But typically, it's going to be something like this. You're going to have a menu button, right? When you click this menu button, this is what's going to pop up, a little screen. You saw it when I clicked over here, and then there's going to be a bar. Mine was on top. Mine was in this area that I'm circling around here. This one is down, and I've seen it down on my other computer. So it can be both, top or down. Um, this little button right here, the circle with the line through it, that's the power button. You'll be able to restart, shut down, sleep. These are the different actions you can take with this. A lot of times, if you click on that and your computer has updates, if it automatically updates, it'll let you know update and shut down, restart and shut down, which you'll usually say yes. All right, this little wheel above the power button looks like a little cog in a machine. It's got like the ridges. I don't know if it's a good visualization, but that's what it's supposed to look like. That's settings. So if you click on that, it's going to take you into the settings of your computer. And I'll show some of these in a little bit here. This, the mountains with the little sun in the square. Pictures. This right here, the rectangle with the dog-eared corner, that is documents. If you click on that, it'll take you to probably your recent documents would be my guess. And I'll show you about that. This right here, the little man in the circle or the little person in the circle, that is going to be your profile, however you've logged into the computer. My computer knows it's me. Through Association House, I have my own login. I even have a picture that's on my ID here on the computer. I didn't put it on there, they put it on there. But on my Google, you probably saw my headshot. So my headshot was a picture of my face. So you have all these apps as you go into the menu. As you start to type, the apps will appear based upon what you're writing. So if I start to write, as you saw, I had the snipping tool, and they have one right there. You can see right between Microsoft Outlook and Microsoft Edge is the snipping tool. Um, this is something that if I type in SNIP, oh, there it is. I can click on it. So be looking for it. If it doesn't show up, it might be an indicator that you need to download the software or that something is wrong with your computer and you need to restart it. These are the most recently added. And a lot of times too, you'll see recently used, they will pop up. So if you're frequently using Adobe Acrobat, it'll appear. If you're frequently using Calculator, it'll appear. This one looks like it's going in alphabetical order, and it looks like it recently added Google. You can access your calendar, your email for it to be connected through your computer versus the browser. That's something that you're going to have to set up. That's not something we really go into a class, but if you want help setting that up, let me know. I don't think it's really beneficial. I think it's kind of a pain in the neck when you're trying to send an email and it pops up and it makes you log in and you try to stay logged in and then it kicks you out at some point. I'm babbling here, but if you really want to connect your email to your computer so that you don't have to go online over your browser, we can do that. But there's not a great point. I mean, if you have a Gmail, you're going to use the Google Chrome anyways. Um, let's continue on here. All right, so again, this is the menu on Windows. All right, and what we talked about searching. Look at that, just like I told you, they typed in Word, and then all of a sudden Word opens up. It pops up right here. But it has some secondary ones as well. Maybe you wanted the word pad. Not many people use WordPad. It's a what's the word? Um, it's similar to a clipboard, but there's not really a good purpose for it. But you're more likely to use Microsoft Word. This is a reputable app that would be found in office settings and schools and whatnot. All right, so yeah, it has all of these different correlations. Microsoft Word course calendar, Microsoft Word tasty guilty-free desserts. So it's going to pull up everything connected with what you're typing in here. Um, let's see. Continue on. Oh, no. Actually, right side of the screen. So here are the different app stores. You've seen App Store from Apple. This is another one, and you'll see it on Windows and Windows devices. Microsoft Store. Are they as cutthroat as the App Store and Google Play in terms of the competition? They're still a competitor. And Microsoft makes good products, and Microsoft Office and uh, the Word and the Excel, these different applications, these apps. This is something that is reputable, and people love the way it functions and how it works. Um, Google has many of this similar apps for free that are accessible from anywhere. These are not accessible necessarily from anywhere. You have to have an Outlook account. And in terms of them, their saving, there's going to be storage online as well, like Google has with Drive. I believe it would be the cloud, not iCloud, but Microsoft Cloud or something. We will see this as we're going along. I will continue on here. So here are some applications you might be familiar with. These are our browsers, right? We are going to be using Google Chrome for this course. If you need to use another browser, it's okay, but it could get very complicated, especially if you're on Google and trying to do things to Google. I encourage you to use Google Chrome as your browser. Mozilla Firefox is reputable. It's often one of these browsers that's was a I will say at one point considered very safe in terms of your web searches and whatnot. It would really try to steer you away from websites that were unsavory, that could have viruses or malware. So Mozilla Firefox was fine. As far as it is today in today's world, I haven't seen it as much. Google Chrome, again, does much of the same things. It's very secure. That doesn't mean that you can't find trouble. Go looking for trouble, or you you're really determined to click on websites that it says this may be an unsafe source, you potentially could have spyware, all kinds of stuff that goes on your computer. Microsoft Edge. This is the new Microsoft browser. The original one, if anyone was on the computer in the 2000s, 2010s, until this came out, it would have been Explorer, Microsoft Explorer. They have obviously rebranded and gone into a different phase. The success of Microsoft Explorer is similar to Google in that when you downloaded Windows, when you paid for Windows, it came free. The browser you would download onto your computer would come free with the software. So it was a way for Microsoft to get their foot in the door, so to speak, with taking over the market at that time before Google was really at the forefront of web search. So that browser existed before Google Chrome. Google Chrome is newer, but there were other browsers that were actually better than Microsoft Explorer that no longer exist, like Netscape Navigator. Netscape Navigator got put out of business because their business was selling their browser as a download on a CD-ROM for your computer. But because Microsoft gave theirs away for free, it might not have been as efficient, but they were able to improve it and they dominated the market. So now they are the winner of browsing. Um, Google Chrome, I would say, would be the top used, top downloaded. Mozilla, also reputable. Microsoft Edge. Again, it comes down to preference. With Google Chrome, there's more of a benefit of using it with your web search. Also, as related to AI, they have the Gemini. So there's a lot that is beneficial to using Google Chrome. Microsoft Edge has Copilot. So they have an AI as well. So they're trying to keep ahead. Safari. So again, these two will probably be the most common, Google Chrome and Microsoft Edge, in terms of on your computer. Safari is not common. Safari is probably the least common of all of these. Why? Because you can have all three of these on your computer. But if you have any other computer other than a Mac, you cannot have Safari. Safari is trying to make a push now by saying, we don't take your information, right? We don't take your data. Your data is truly private. So that is innovative. It's their way of saying, use our browser so you don't get spied on by people trying to market to you, or you don't have to worry about getting ads that feel directed directly towards you. But I will say, in terms of your web searches, in terms of your activity, if you are looking for something, if you are looking to find a Reebok store near you, you're going to want to use Google Chrome or Microsoft Edge. Safari can do it. Sure, Safari has some connection with the Apple map. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's a limited pool of people that can use it. You will not find Safari on any device other than Apple devices. And if anyone ever does, please let me know. That would be amazing. That'd be unprecedented. As someone who uses Apple, I almost never use Safari. I almost always use Google Chrome because there are more bells and whistles. Yes, I am trading my information, but it's secure. It's encrypted. So Google gets a profile of me, the consumer, right? So I'll see ads that are marketed directly towards me or my loved ones. But I'm okay with that. Safari, you won't see that as much because, of course, they are not selling your information. But again, it's a limited pool. And until there's something substantial with Safari that makes it maybe connected to a superior AI technology or something that makes it so that I am able to access documents and have a connection to. I mean, there is an Apple. There's the iCloud between the phone and whatnot. Most of the time, unless you change the settings, your Apple devices will open in Safari if you're clicking on a link. but I found I do enjoy Google quite a bit. It is the interface is much friendlier to people who are searching for things. You saw how I was able to find that news article. So that's something to give consideration to. Um, Something else I'll say too. So these are all browsers. There is another browser through Microsoft Edge. Their search engine is Bing, right? So Bing is through Microsoft. There's a big push in the 2010s for Microsoft saying use Bing instead of Google. It's so much better. I think between the two, we'll talk about it a little bit, but Google is still number one. So, not saying it can't happen, or I'm not saying that any of them are inferior. They all have their pluses, right? They all have their perks, but there are pros and cons. So, my preference is Google Chrome. If you're on Apple, you don't have a choice. You get Safari anyways, but you can. I have downloaded Google Chrome onto mine, and of course, you can use Microsoft Edge. Some things will integrate and work better through Microsoft Edge if it's a Microsoft product, right? But Google has been pretty flexible in terms of being able to convert things to a Word document. So here's word processing. These are the two basically that you'll maybe use for this class. Hopefully, you'll use the Google Doc. I like Google Doc because I can access it from anywhere. I can access it on my phone. I can access it on the computer in the computer lab, computer at home. I recommend using Google Doc because we have Google Classroom. Plus, it will save as you're going along. And everything we're going to be doing is going to be through the lens of our Google technology here with this course, which of course is funded by Google. Unidos US receives is as our funder. They're connected to Google, so this is sort of an opportunity for you to get a background in Google as you work on things. But there's nothing wrong with Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is excellent. I would say if you have a computer, if it isn't a Chromebook, um, you should pay for a subscription. Usually you download it once. I think you have to update it every couple years. Um, it's not free. Google Doc is free. Microsoft Word is you have to pay for it, and you should be getting other things with it as well as you're paying for it. If you want to connect to it online, it is possible through the cloud, through your Outlook, which is an email. You can see here Microsoft's Outlook. Microsoft Outlook is their email. I have one for work. I have one personal, but I have a Gmail. And in this class, you will make a Gmail account. Even if you already have one, we're going to make one again, so you have more of an intimate understanding of how it works and functions for the users. These are payment or money apps. We have the Cash app. This is fairly common. You might see if you're at a if you have vendors who are selling farm produce, someone's got a little stand up for coffee or something, they might say we take Cash app, and you can scan a QR code and pay and keep money over the Cash app, transfer it. Very similar PayPal. PayPal is actually older than Cash app. PayPal is used not just by individuals but by companies. So sometimes if you have a recurring subscription, it will go through PayPal. So keep that in mind. You are more likely to not go out of your way to have to make one of these just to get around, or you'll be using one without realizing it because you're paying into it. I have a PayPal. I do not have a Cash app. PayPal is more ubiquitous with our world and our technologies. I will say, you may have heard of him. You may have heard of him. You may not like him. I don't really like him either. Elon Musk made his fortune off PayPal because people said nobody is going to trust an app with their money. Well, they were wrong. And you have Venmo. I like Venmo. I use Venmo. Much the same as the Cash app. Um, this one does make note specifically of whether or not this transaction is between friends, like you're splitting dinner, right? And you send your friend over Venmo. You'll even hear people use it as a verb. I'll Venmo you. And if someone says, "Do you have Venmo?" or "Can you Venmo me for the taxi cab ride?" It's how people can split things in a world where if you walk into a restaurant, they say we don't split the check. So someone's got a $1,000 like all the friends come in and they're like, oh, like my credit card, I have, $1,000 bill on it for everyone getting pizza and wings or whatever. This is how you pay your friends back, Venmo. It is similar to PayPal in that it's connected to your financial institutions, your banks, but Venmo is good because you could send money to friends. And the Cash App, I believe, is similar in that way, but I haven't heard of it used that specifically. When you buy goods and services over Venmo, um, there's supposed to be a taxation element. Um, so if you Venmo someone for something, just keep that in mind. If it's a friend with a taxi ride or with going out to dinner, that's different. Or if it's a gift, you know, thank you so much for giving me that ride. I want to give you some money for um, your gas tank. So that's some of what Venmo can be used for. Zelle is used by banks, and I am going to wrap it up here, folks, because we are 2 minutes past time. But I just want to get to this. Zelle, um, actually, Bank of America, I know uses Zelle, and this is a way to transfer money quickly, um, quicker than you could had you used the banking system or not written a bank check. So short of moving heaven and earth and paying a bunch of money to transfer, Zelle is a good option for folks. I am going to stop sharing now, and I'm going to uh, set everyone free to start on your homework. And I wish you a good week, and I will see you Thursday. Does anyone have any questions for me before we end class today? No? All right. Well then, have a great week. I'll see you Thursday. And any questions, please email me. All right. All right. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.